With the 10th anniversary of the 9/11 terrorist attacks rapidly approaching, there's growing alarm about the increasing cancer rates among those who worked at Ground Zero after the horrific attacks. Firefighters, police and construction workers say the toxic air they breathed is now killing them, and they're demanding that Washington cover their huge medical costs. This special report from North America correspondent Craig McMurtry.
Jeff Stroline was a New York firefighter. Now he's recovering after a bone marrow transplant. Last March, the 47-year-old started suffering serious headaches.
On March 18th, I was diagnosed with brain cancer.
A grueling program of chemotherapy left him barely able to walk. He blames the week he spent at Ground Zero in the aftermath of September 11.
And with planes and cabinets and body parts and all this stuff disappearing into midair, and you're telling us it's fine to breathe. I mean, you know, what do you take people for?
Congress has approved $4 billion to help people suffering from illnesses linked to 9/11, but it doesn't include cancer treatment. Over 1,000 Americans who worked at the site have died since. That includes hundreds of cancer cases. John Feel wears his time working on the pile on his body. A construction worker, his foot was crushed on the World Trade Center site, and after it was partially removed, he had to learn to walk again. He's become a fierce champion for all 9/11 workers.
Every toxin that was in the air, that went airborne, when everything was crushed and pulverized, take them individually and put them in a bottle. You'd have a skull and crossbones on it, and it's a harmful if swallowed, could cause cancer.
He's fought for federal funding, which includes money for a series of World Trade Center monitoring clinics to track the medical history of the thousands called to the site in the aftermath.
Why do we have centers of excellence? Why do they exist? Because there's already an assumption that 9/11 got us sick. The government's admitting we got sick from 9/11.
One of the centers is on Long Island. Dr. Benjamin Luff's team has 6,000 patients.
They went down there and they were assaulted by continuous and repeated psychic injuries. There were people falling, there was carnage, there were body parts, there was a tremendous odor in the air of burning bodies. There was constant threat to their life and limb. And this went on over a prolonged period of time.
Well, this is outside of St. Paul's.
They were so moved by the stories of the Ground Zero rescue teams and workers that they filmed them.
There was so much dust still in the air at that time. It was almost unbreathable.
It was so unexplainable, the rubble down there. There was not a desk, there was not a chair, there was not a computer, there was not a briefcase. There was nothing but dust, concrete, rebar, and papers flying around.
They just kept feeding buckets. One line putting empty buckets back up the hill and one line going down the hill full.
Dr. Luft is convinced that there is a link between the increasing cancer cases and exposure to the World Trade Center site. But he also says it'll take years to have the scientific data to conclusively prove it.
I believe that in time we will establish that relationship, but that it will take a period of time to do so. And
what does that mean for your patients?
And I think, and for my patients, I think they'll suffer as a result of that.
9/11 advocates say each cancer case could cost $1 million. They say they'll need billions. The New York City Fire Department has put out a report this month that shows in the 7 years after 9/11, 3,000 firefighters took early retirement because of disability. 1,400 of those cases were traced through injury and illness back here to time they spent at the World Trade Center site. The cost to the struggling city pension fund, an additional $1 billion. And remember, that's just firefighters. Tens of thousands of people came here to work at Ground Zero.
They can say what they want. There is a direct link. There's over 345 first responders died of cancer. You can't tell me that these people are going to die of cancer normally.
Jeff Stroline says he's one of the lucky ones because he has insurance. But his bone marrow transplant cost $200,000. He doesn't know if it's covered. He's had to retire from the job he loves and believes his plight and that of other ailing 9/11 responders is being ignored.
I mean, they're pushing the first responders away who they were cheering as heroes on 9/11 years ago and months gone by. And now they push them away, and now 9/11's here again, and they're going to be in the spotlight of their political day.
The New York Fire Department is expected to release a new analysis of 9/11 cancer cases just in time for the 10th anniversary. There's hope that Congress could extend coverage, even in these cash-strapped times, perhaps by the end of the year. But no one is sure.
That they traded the well-being of their families for the well-being of society. And I don't think we should ever put anybody in that position.
And Dr. Luff says telling 9/11 cancer patients he can't help them is unconscionable. Craig McMurtry, Lateline.